Okay. All right. Thank y'all so much for joining us tonight. As I said earlier, Ryan was supposed to be on here with me, but we are wishing her well and hoping that she feels back to her normal self very, very soon. Tonight, I'm going to be sharing with you the my top 10 list for treating Monat like a business. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Tammy Jordan. I'm a former kindergarten teacher. I taught for 24 years, and I have been home working Monat for going on my 4th year at home, and working it full time. And I love, love, love this business and love learning right alongside everyone else and sharing all the best practices. So I want to start off this training by saying this training is not for the person who's only in it for the discount or as what we call a hobbyist, okay? So keep that in mind tonight when I'm going through this top 10, and don't think that I am coming at you hard and heavy for no reason, but this is legit things that you need to be doing if you look at yourself as a business owner and you want to be paid for the job that you do. So I would say the difference between a hobby person and a business person is a hobby person spends money to be in this business. Okay, they don't make money. And okay, I got a rah there, so someone agrees with me. And a business actually pays you. Okay, so I am going to talk to you tonight as an entrepreneur. If you signed up to be a market partner, you bought a business, and you bought a business that can pay you millions of dollars if you treat it like the business that it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through a top 10. I tried to put them in order, but there's some that I'm very passionate about, but I'm going to go down from 10 to 1. So, and I'm just going to share a few things with you, and I'm going to try very, very, very hard to keep this in our same time limit. But I am going to offer at the end, if anyone has questions, put them in the chat. And I will also, depending on what time it is, allow time for Q&A at the end. But please remember, this is for the entrepreneur, the business owner that's on this call, okay? So number 10, okay? Number 10 is professional development. I'm just gonna dive right in. Everyone comes into this business as on the same playing field. I don't care what your background is. I don't care if you have a bachelor's, a master's, a doctorate. I don't care. You come into this business with everyone else, whether it's, for example, my 18-year-old daughter right out of high school, or you come in here with 3 degrees, you've gone to law school, all of that. We all start out at the same level playing field, but we all come to this business with different skill sets, and everyone has room to improve. So professional development is a major component of this business. You have to be able to work on yourself as a leader. You have to be able to work on yourself as a people person. If you're not a people person, you have to kind of find out, like, what are your weaknesses and what do you need to work on? Because obviously your strengths, you're going to thrive in those areas. So read or listen to audiobooks. Chances are when you enrolled, the person that enrolled you told you that you needed to listen or read 1 or 2 books in your Smart Start period. And I know a lot of people just kind of skip over that. And then when they actually go back and read it, they're like, oh my gosh, that was so helpful, because it really has good information. So if you did not go back, especially if you're in my downline or Stephanie's downline, I know you were told of 2 books that you needed to read. And there's a reason for that, okay? Lots and lots of good nuggets. So make sure you go back and constantly read, pour into yourself, even if it's 10, 15 minutes a day. Professional development is key in this business. Learn your business, MPA, Market Partner Academy, and the other training modules that are provided from corporate. We all get those. So that's what I'm saying. We all get the same resources. So if you haven't utilized those resources, that's one of the things that you need to make a priority on. And it's on my top 10 list. So I really think everybody needs to make a priority for that. You may need to do an online course and invest in some self-development. I've got several market partners right now that got a taste of Bob Heilig, and they are doing his course. You can find some courses that are free, but I can tell you, especially since the year I came home for the first year I came home to work this full time, I started paying for my professional development. I started finding other people that I could learn from, and then kind of narrowed it down to who I liked best. But that is something that you need to invest in yourself so that you invest in your business. So be willing to grow. Kimberly shared this with me today in our chat. Be willing to grow and let go. If something isn't working, self-reflect, because it might be something that you're doing, and be okay with that, and then adjust. We always have to adjust ourselves, especially when we're trying something new. So professional development is my number 10. Moving on to number 9, remove the time suckers. We all have time suckers, and we think there's so many things that we have to do. But if you're coming into Monat, and you are doing this to grow a real business, not a hobby, a real business, it is time for you to look at the things in your life, on your schedule, on your calendar, that are sucking time away, because we all have the same 24 hours in a day. And it is amazing what some people with busier schedules can accomplish with this business, rather than, like, say, someone who has more time on their hands. And it's because they're using their time wisely. So I always suggest take an inventory of what you do each week, down to every minute little thing you do, mindless things that you do. Look at that list and be ready to let it go, meaning if you got dishes in the sink one night, it's okay. Let it go. If you can delegate anything to your husband, to your older kids that are capable of doing things themselves, if you hire a housekeeper, whatever, look at that list and see what you can delegate and remove from that to give you a little more time. Guys, no one needs 40 hours a week to work this job. So you've got to commit to what your time frame is and finding ways to make that happen. Remove your non-income producing activities from your life that are sucking up all your time. I know there's certain TV shows that we like, right? So use that TV time, not every night for 2 or 3 hours. You could build a massive business if you watch 2 or 3 episodes of your favorite show on Netflix, right? So use your TV time as a reward. When I started, when I was teaching, I gave up TV completely, and didn't watch it at all, because I knew if I gave up something for a short amount of time, I was going to love the outcome that I had later. Give up committees that you don't have to be on. If you're volunteering somewhere, guess what? Someone else will fill your shoes. There's always someone to fill your shoes. If you're struggling to find time in your schedule, there are certain things that you can give up for a short amount of time to sacrifice in order to reach your goals. Some people might not like this, but I actually missed 3 of my daughter's swim meets because there was a corporate event going on in town, or we had a Meet Monat, or I was launching a new market partner, but it was something that no one else could do, that I had to be there for my team and my business. But guess what? Emma survived. It was okay. And she had her grandparents, her dad, her brother, other grandparents. She had a whole team of people watching her, and she understood. But there are times that you have to pick and choose what you need to do if you're going to stay committed and on schedule with this business. I always say nothing changes if nothing changes. If you don't make the small changes that are going to help you in your business, nothing's going to change, and you're just going to get frustrated. So it's really important that you sit down, and sometimes I've told several market partners this, it's a sit down conversation with your family and letting them know what you're wanting to do and get everybody on the same page and how can we work this out, because mama's got to be on the phone, mama's got to go to an event, because you're doing this for them, but you've got to have everybody in. So changes are necessary. Sacrifices are necessary when you're trying to build this, especially ladies. Most people are working a 40-hour-a-week job, right? Doing this business. So it's really, really important that you look at that list and look at that schedule and see what you can do to carve out the little bit of time that you need to stay committed to this job. And then ask yourself everything that you planned. And I think I was better at this when I had my full-time job, because it was something that I was faced with all the time. Right now, I have my time freedom, but then I did not. So I would always ask, if someone asked me to volunteer or to do something at the school or to be on one more committee, I always ask myself, is what I'm doing, is it going to get me closer to my goal? And if it didn't, I learned how to say no. I never said no until my first year of Monat. And I started learning how to say no and being okay with it and not feeling guilty. So remember that. Ask yourself that question all the time. Is what I'm doing now getting me closer to my goal? And then number 8, schedule your work time. Stick to it. Don't schedule activities and go, oh, I was going to get on a Zoom call, but I can catch the replay. How many times do people do that and then they never watch it because they don't carve out time for the replay? You tend to brush things off to the side because it's just a Zoom, or it's just a little training, or it was just a call. Those kind of things are very important, and those are pieces of your business that you should not be brushing off and brushing to the side. We have within our team, I'm so proud of the team that we have, because we have cross lines, sideline sisters. We have an organization of amazing leaders that are offering Power Hour to all of our market partners. And so it doesn't matter whose team you're on, you can get on there Monday and Wednesday mornings at 9 o'clock. Those are offered to you for you to have help building your business. There are several in the evening. There are mid-month push, end-of-month push Zooms where you can get on there. And so those are ways to really schedule your work time. And guys, if you don't put it on your calendar, more than likely it's not going to happen. So I'm weird. I have a passion planner that I use, and I put things on my phone because I don't carry my planner around. It's kind of like, because I'm a teacher, I think it's like my lesson plan book or something, but I carry my phone around everywhere with me and have reminders set on it. If you don't build those Power Hours, Team Huddle should be on your planner for every Monday night at 7:30. I've had people go, oh, I didn't know. Well, we've had them every Monday at 7:30. So put it on your calendar and plan to be there. And if someone says, hey, can you go to the movies at 8? Nope, sorry, I've got, I mean, again, this is for the entrepreneur, right? The person working this business, you work around it. And so you've got to commit to yourself, and you have to be consistent, because if you're not committed to yourself, no one else is going to be as committed as you are to your goal. And so you have to make yourself, even if you struggle with that, that's something that you have to work on, because this is your business. And like I said, no one else is going to build that for you. Number 7 is engage. This is like my biggest thing, especially with new market partners. It's really hard because, and when I say engage, I want you to engage with your team on Facebook. Most of us don't have the luxury of our entire team being in the same town. Most of us are usually spread out all over the place. And so I always consider, like, when you go to your team page, when we all go to Team Believe, right? And I know there's other teams on here, I'm just using that as an example. When we go to Team Believe, that's like you going to the office, okay? That's where you see every people. You actually get to know people in there by engaging with them in Facebook. So by that, it's like, you know, when you congratulate someone on an achievement, when you ask questions, when you post a question in there as a new market partner, you're going to have all these wonderful people answering your questions, and you can start conversations with them, and then you start following them. That is your place to meet your team. The most successful people are people that engage on Facebook with the team and ask questions, because these are your coworkers, right? And so I highly suggest everyone engaging. And, you know, sometimes depending on your job, you cannot be on Facebook all day. I don't like to be on Facebook all day. I usually get on in the morning, at noon, and then at night. That's it for a quick for a quick check-in, scroll for a little bit, but every single day I go to Team Believe and I'll do a little scroll real quick to see if there's anything I miss. As a business owner, it is my job to be on top of things. It is not Stephanie's job to say, hey, did you see what I posted today? Did you see this? No, that is our job, your job. So treat your face. If you don't like Facebook, I get it. Some people don't, but treat it like your job, like you're checking in at the office just to see if there's any new updates. And start engaging people because you want to be in the know. You have to be an authority on your business and your products. Okay, this kind of goes back to what I said earlier about we all have the same resources and tools. So your back office, your emails, we all get the same ones. And so it is important that you check your email, know what's going on, and totally engage with your team. All right, number 6, we're halfway through. Commit to show up. This is hard. This is hard when you've got sick kiddos. It's hard when you have a full-time job. I understand that. I can remember it vividly. It's not like it just disappears. I remember the frustrations. I remember feeling like a single mom because my husband worked nights. I know what it's like, but we still have to commit. If you are wanting to hit these massive goals and make this something so life-changing for you and your family, again, you have to commit to show up. And by that, I mean showing up, not just scrolling on Facebook. I mean showing up to team trainings just like this. And if you can attend live, that's even better. But watch the replay. If you can't attend a live, watch the replay, engage. I like live because you can communicate. You can have that conversation back and forth, and you can be present and ask questions and hear other conversations as well. Show up to events. If you have meetings in town, if there's a team training, if there's a team social, opportunity calls, get people on those opportunity calls. You have people wanting to help you, and it gives you third-party credibility. So those are all examples of ways that you can show up in person. Put them on your calendar and schedule. Again, just like the team trainings and engaging and making your work time, schedule everything around it. I've done a training on time blocking. If you're not familiar with time blocking, it's something that can really help you out, but you have to be willing to delegate, get rid of stuff, and then commit to your schedule. All right, number 5, take initiative. We're all given, again, like I said, this kind of ties in with number 6, but we're all given the same information, training, and emails, and it's your responsibility to be aware of flash sales that come out. It's your responsibility to be aware of announcements on Market Partner Official, and to just, like I said, be in the know. Outside of Smart Start, guys, I tell every market partner that signs up under me is that I literally want you blowing up my back pocket, because my phone's usually in my back pocket. You can ask me all the questions you want. You can ask me the questions multiple times, because I know that sometimes when we're new, we need to hear things multiple times, right? We need to hear it. We need to see it. We need to be shown. We need to have examples. But after Smart Start, guys, and you think about it, as you start growing your team and you have multiple market partners, your upline or whatever can't be doing that all the time. So I don't mind at all. I want you blowing up my phone, but I also know that we need to take initiative, and this is your business, and you have to be resourceful and go, she told me to look in the resource library, or I know I can find that on the team page in the files or something like that, or I could ask on the team page where to find it. So I always say, I use this on another training. When I was a teacher, now I did kindergarten, after I explained directions multiple times over and over and over, I had a policy in my classroom that if I had already done it and they came and asked me something, I said, you go ask 3 people before you come ask me, because surely someone else was listening and they know. They're going to be able to tell you where to find your answer. So if you don't know 3 other people in Monat yet, then check with 3 other resources. Your back office is amazing. The resource library, look on your team page, ask a person. That way, I promise you, if you start finding answers for yourself, you're going to retain that information a lot better than having it spoon-fed to you by just texting someone all the time. I mean that with love, guys, lots of love, but we have to take initiative and start finding out things for ourselves. And then number 4, plan your month. Okay, I've seen this happen so many times. It's the middle of the month and somebody's like, oh, I want to hit whatever rank, and we should have started on day 1 of the month, right? So plan your month. Day 1, Stuart, everyone on this call gets an email from Stuart, usually by 8:30 in the morning, and he's told you all the incentives for the month. He's told you the only for yous. He's told you any promotions. That's when you get to work. So set your goals, set your action steps, because you can set goals, but if you don't have a plan to get there, it's not going to happen. And if you're not, if you really haven't, like I really wasn't a goal setter for a business, obviously, as a teacher. I had goals for my students, but that was something new when I came in. So if you're not good or familiar, or if it's something that's difficult for you, get with someone else and say, hey, this is what I want to do. Is it an attainable goal? How can I get there? What are the income producing activities because that's what it all boils down to. What do I need to do to get there? You can schedule a coaching call. I suggest everyone print out a rank advancement map on the 1st of the month and figure out what it is you need and who's going to run with you to help you reach those goals. And then that's another thing. You can have all the goals in the world, but if you have team members that are in for the discount only, or they're in for like, oh, this month, like for the hobby, like I'm just going to play around, see how it goes. Those might not be the people. Like if you're counting on them, you might be disappointed because they might not want to work that month, And so it's really important that you have conversations with your market partners to see what they're wanting to do for the month as well. And then number 3 is get to work. Okay. Front load your month. Okay. But y'all know what I mean by front loading your month? Don't wait until week 3 or 4 to start being concerned about your personal volume. Personal volume starts day 1, and that's when you need to start being concerned. If you're trying to hit Vegas as a new market partner at 1,200 PV, you need to start breaking that down. Okay, that's 12 orders for the month. How many VIP flex ships are going through? How many new orders do I need? Am I placing an order? You need to start working that on day 1. Start planning your month and find out what your rank goal is. Check at the beginning of the month. Day 1, maybe day 2, check your monthly flex ships. Who has flex ships going out? Who has birthdays this month? Do regular follow-ups and use those flash sales. Guys, oh my gosh, we have the most amazing company that just basically hands us sales to offer to our customers. Not every don't only work it during flash sales. That's the worst thing you can do, but use that as a tool. Not every flash sale is for every customer you have. But for example, I pretty much went through all my new contacts. I signed up 9 new VIP customers this month. So I really didn't have any new contacts that were on the fence. But one of my VIP customers was like, I really want to try the sunscreen. But when she placed her order 2 weeks ago, it wasn't available. And so I just called her up and said, hey, it's available with this flash sale. This one might be a good one for you, and told her what else was in it. And then she ended up purchasing again just because she wanted the sunscreen. So use those flash sales to help you increase your volume, because we need that personal volume. And then plan in, as far as getting to work, plan in person and online events. Events are what grow your business. Events, events, events. A minimum of 2 per month. Okay. People are getting out in social. I know some areas may be a little different, but where I am, everybody's pretty much feels like back to normal. So having small in-house events, going to other people's houses, going to restaurants where you meet up with maybe 2 people or 3 people, that can be considered an event as long as you're sharing the products and the opportunity. So get those scheduled, because if you're not doing those, you're not meeting new people, you're not getting new names added to your funnel, and you're not growing your business. So events is what moves your business and creates that momentum. And then guys, my biggest thing is part of getting to work is add new contacts. We can't keep beating dead horses. You have to add new contacts to your list every month, whether it's on social media, whether it's in person, whether it's when you're going out with friends and you meet people. I meet people at restaurants, at HEB, grocery store, all over the place, networking events. I'm in a new networking group. I've never met the people in person, but I've been going about 5-6 weeks now. And I have all these new contacts that are now following me on Facebook. I've gotten 2 new customers out of it. But if we're not adding new names to our list and we're only reaching out to the same people that we've been talking to for the last 2 or 3 years, we're not, they might not be buying right now. So they're not going to be on your hot list, right? So it's really important that you increase the number of the people in your funnel so that when you do go back around and you're following up and you're letting people know about certain flash sales, you actually have people to reach out to that you haven't already tried 5, 6, 7 times, right? And then those people might come around, but you've blessed them with the opportunity, you've blessed them with the offer, move on. I've had people that have ordered after I've talked to them for 2 or 3 years, but I had to move on and let them go and they come back. So add people to your funnel constantly. And then number 2 is take care of your customers. This is probably my biggest thing with new market partners. And guys, I've been in a while. I wouldn't say, I guess I could be a veteran for some people, but I haven't been in as long as Stephanie. But guys, when you sign up a customer, it is so much more than getting that sale. The relationship does not end at that initial order. That's when it's beginning, really. Okay, it begins at the time they trust you to sign up as a VIP customer. And I hear this so many times. And I say that because in the 4.5 years I've been in, market partners have come and gone. And when they go or they terminate out, I get their customers, right? They roll up to me. And I can tell you that I've had many conversations where I've had to cold call a person I don't even know and introduce themselves to me. And not all of them, because some of them don't want to hear from me because they don't know me. But I will say I've saved a lot, and they are so thankful for someone taking the time to ask what they want, what they need, and helping them and letting them know. Some of them aren't even aware of the VIP perks, or they think they have to get products every month. So what does that tell me? They weren't taken care of. And I'm not going to say the market partner didn't tell them, because I know from my own experience, I tell everyone the perks. I send it in an email. I send them a graphic. I follow up with them, and they just don't retain it. It's just like a prospect. They have to be told multiple times. And that's why it's so important that you give your customers that white glove customer service, because guys, they are your residual income. They are the bread and the butter to your residual income that builds up over time. You treat them with the utmost care and make sure that they know how special that they are to you and your business. Even if, you know what, a lot of people will they thank them when they get first order. What about the customer that's bought from you 6 or 7 times? How would they feel? What would it do for your business if you actually sent a thank you card every single time a person ordered from you? Or you just send them a little note, a text, however you communicate with them. But we have to up our game on the customer service so that you build, I don't know about for you, but my goal is every month I have to have 3,500 PV every month. That is my minimum. That is my minimum, and that's what I strive for. And the only way that we get that on an ongoing basis, and the only way it increases over time, is by taking care of your VIP customers, right? Or retail if you have retail. Taking care of those customers all the time. Help them with their flagships. Recommend new products with them. I will also tell you that I have acquired VIPs that have ordered the exact same thing. Order has never changed month after month, sometimes for over a year, and their products never changed. That tells me that they're probably not having the best experience they could have. They haven't ventured out and tried anything else, and their market partner never recommended new products to them. So those are just things that we can do to help them have a better experience. Send thank you cards with samples, birthday cards. I send a birthday card with confetti in it. Sometimes I'll put a sample in it. And I let them know not to forget to look for their birthday email from Monat, because some of them don't check their email and they forget about it. I can't tell you how many times they're like, oh my gosh, thank you. You know, I have a $25 coupon with free shipping. And guess what that does for you? Increases your PV, right? So they appreciate that. They want to be taken care of. They want to be told what to do. They want to know how to do things. And they also, your VIP customers, especially your raving fans, they are such a great resource for referrals. I recently did a survey that Amy shared with us. I tweaked it a little bit, and I had them, the customer, I sent it to all my VIPs, and there was a section on it. It was like, do you know of anyone else that would benefit from Monat, whether hair care, skin care, whatever? And I got 9 referrals, 9 names. And so then I just contacted the market partners like, hey, can you connect me with so-and-so and so-and-so on a 3-way text? And then what did that do? That added names to my funnel. Then I connected with them on Facebook. So those are your VIP customers, are the heart and soul of your business. So treat them like that, because I guarantee you, if you increase that PV and you know you can give if you knew you could give yourself a raise at your job that you go to every day at 3%, 5%, or 10%, would you do whatever it takes to get that raise? I love the fact that I can go, every month, okay, I want a 10% raise. What do I need to get there? Right? It's such a great feeling to give yourself a raise. And get to know your customer get to know the person behind your customer. They're more than a customer. They're a mom, they're a wife, they're a struggling mom raising 3 or 4 kids, just wants some me time. Find out who your customer is and start relating on them. Because I know sometimes I meet people and they've heard about Monat and they just want to sign up, right? And so I don't know them that well, but I do spend all this time afterwards getting to know them and connecting with them. If they live in town, I'm like, hey, do you want to meet for coffee? Do you want to meet for a drink? Okay. I get to know them and develop that relationship, and hopefully it turns into a friendship. Okay, last one. Most important one of all, okay? All that stuff, other stuff is very easy to implement in. But guys, the last one is have fun and share it with everyone. We have an amazing opportunity, and I always say, how dare you not share it with people? Because whether it's the product or the opportunity, we have something amazing to offer people. Okay, you just have to find out what is going to fit them best, what is going to benefit them the most. If your mouth is closed, your business is closed. Guys, I'm in 2 networking groups. One is all women, and there are women in there in a networking group. We're there to build each other's business, help out. They don't even talk about their business. There's a lot of them in there that are in network marketing, and I hear more about their full-time job than I do about the job I would be wanting to promote. That's my own business. So talk about your business as much as you can, especially remember this training is for people who want to grow this into something big. All right. They're entrepreneurs. They're people who are wanting to do this more than a hobby and more than a discount. So share this with anybody and everybody you know. If you're trying to build this up, like if it were me, quit talking about teaching, okay? I don't want to promote teaching because that's not building my Monat business. So for example, when I was teaching, and it didn't take me long to figure I could use this to get out, once I started going to networking groups and meeting other people, if someone asked me what I did, I said, oh, I'm a teacher, but I'm more excited about the business I recently started. Have you heard of Monat? Or they would go, what do you do? Or what are you doing now? I would find a way to bring that in and talk about that. I didn't want to spend time talking about teaching. Everybody knows what teachers do. I wanted to talk about Monat and get those conversations going. So spend time talking about what it is you're wanting and letting people know that you have your own business, because I promise you, people are going to be impressed by the person who's working a job and building something for themselves in their spare time. They're going to want to ask questions. They're going to be curious, you know? So, guys, you've got to talk about your business and not be afraid to talk about it. Be excited about it, because people are going to really resonate and want to follow excitement and someone who's enthusiastic about something that they're doing. So that is my list of top 10. I hope y'all found that informative. Hope it wasn't too harsh. I always say Stephanie helps me sweeten up things that I want to say, but these are things that I feel like make a huge difference in how you build your business. So I'm going to scroll through here real quick and see if there's any questions. And I didn't go, only went 9 minutes over, so I guess that's okay. Trish asked, what were the 2 books? The 2 books that we recommend are Get Over Your Damn Self by Romney Neustadt and Go Pro by Eric Worre. And both of those can get on Amazon, and they're great audio. Eric Worre's, at my first year teaching, listened to it 12 times to and from work that whole year. And the first convention I went to, he was our guest speaker, our keynote speaker. Does anybody have a question they want to unmute and ask? Because I'm scrolling through here. Okay, Megan asked, how often do you all have VIPs change products after initial purchase? I kind of think that depends on the person, but I kind of have a system that I do. I start them off with like shampoo, conditioner, a treatment, and or a styling product. And then for their second order, then very next month is always the oil is what I put down, because I want them to get started on that. Some of them will want to buy it the first time. Most are okay doing it the next month. And then after that, of course, that oil is in their cart. And then when I get their flex ship reminder, I just call them and go, hey, do you want to add in? Because they usually don't need shampoo by that point either. And so we talk about other styling products. And now, of course, I've been adding in, do you want to try skincare? If they're not open to that, more hair products. And of course, now we'll talk about wellness too. So.
I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
I was talking to my upline today about this, trying to see the best, any tips, I guess, you have for bridging the gap when you do have a market partner that drops off, and then this new downline that you aren't connected with. Yeah. I mean, when you can be connected to, of course, helpful, but just kind of helping that transition.
To bridge the gap between their market partners or their customers, or both?
Both. And when that would begin, I mean, of course, trying to be in connect. I try to, any of my market partners that don't have a group, encourage them to drop their customers into my group, at least to have some kind of a connection. But the ones that aren't as proactive in building, but do have VIPs, and eventually those become yours, that are harder to connect with a year later.
Right.
If you didn't already have that.
Right. I've tried several different things. And again, it's, I've had some people like I reach out to, and I feel like I'm being really nice. Like, hey, I wanted to introduce myself. You have a flagship coming up. And they're like, why are you contacting me? I don't want to order this anymore or whatever. But then I've had other people ignore me a few times, and then later, like several months later, another flagship comes up and they're like, oh, hey, I wanted to ask about, I don't know if there's any right way to do it. I think it, you know, we're at a disadvantage because we don't have that initial contact with them, like VIP customers. I think I feel good knowing that I tried to reach out by a text, I do an email. Also, if I don't hear from them, I try to connect with them on Facebook. Um, if I feel like I know I've tried everything I can, I just have to let it go. I will tell you, I also look at their order history and see, if they only ordered 3 times and then they show up on mine and they haven't ordered in a long time, they're probably not an active customer. Um, but I just feel like I have to do what I can to try. And if they respond, they respond. But once I get them, like I have a few that I'm like, I'm so glad I saved them, because now their mode of communication is texting, and then I've added them to my VIP group. And so that helps. As far as market partners, in my situation, all market partners that terminated, I pretty much know all the market partners that they just due to 3-way calls, connector calls, or whatever, I knew them and reach out to them. But again, the same thing, if they're not builders and they're not wanting to engage or do anything, I just leave them in the group or whatever, and let them. It's kind of, if anybody, Stephanie, if you have anything different you'd like to add, or anybody else, I don't know, it's just kind of hard. But for me, the frustrating thing is getting the VIP customers. That I don't like getting VIP customers that haven't been taken care of. And if they had been taken care of, they would probably be happier customers. So that's why I'm just a real stickler when I get new market partners, to teach them how to follow up, show them how my follow-up system, and kind of train them the same way. Kimberly, what was number 2? Was take care of your customers. And number 3 was get to work. Does anybody else have any other questions? Thank you, Megan. All right, well, if y'all don't have any other questions, I will let y'all go and get back to your families, or professional development, or follow-ups, or whatever it is you need to do at this time. Y'all have a good evening.